Need a break, then we'll get back in. But first, Mackenzie Jo Brennan, New York trial attorney. Overall thoughts on this cross-examination, the extensive reading of these letters, communications coming from the witness, the au pair. Is it effective?
Yeah, it's always risky when you have somebody, especially someone with a flat affect, when you're the one presenting them essentially in the cross, having so many things read out loud, because it does get droning, it gets monotonous. I think that he's doing a very good job with his sensitivity, that he is not being too aggressive with her. I think that would backfire. I think it would highlight the power differential between her and his client, which is already something that some jurors might be playing on. You know, she was 21, this was her employer, she's in a foreign country, and he, on the other hand, was fully in his adulthood and employed with a government agency. So there's a differential there. I do think it's interesting that he's pulling out some, I don't know if this is intentional, but he's getting her to be a little bit smug and a little annoyed sometimes. So who knows if that's enough for the jury to see and if we'll hit some sort of fever pitch. But on the other hand, I did find some of her earlier testimony in cross empathetic, which would backfire. I thought when she corrected him, when she was talking about how sad she was, that she was near suicide, I don't know that that undercuts the plea. I think that just makes her empathetic.
Yeah, you're right. It's a strange dynamic going on between lawyer and witness in this courtroom, and you do wonder if it's going to amplify here at the end, come to some accusations that you were mad at your lawyer, got frustrated, and you just burned the house down by taking this plea, even though it's not true. We'll see. I also love the defendant. He's over there shaking his head like, oh my God, this lawyer we hired for her, if he'd have just shown up, she'd have gone to trial and I wouldn't be here.
It's all very bizarre. He's certainly very expressive. Honestly, I think her letting go of the relationship could kind of cut in favor of her. And I know we've been waiting for a while here to get to something a little bit more substantive. I guess that the being gentle with somebody like this on the stand is kind of a double-edged sword, because it also means that you don't hit any sort of high unless something goes awry. And here I'm seeing, you know, there was this power dynamic. Her moving on from the relationship and talking about that could mean that she's out from under the spell of this person who she loved and that had power over her. So that could almost cut in her favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Love is an interesting drug. Once it wears off, it's over. And yeah, so we'll see how this cross continues. Let's get a break. We'll come back. We'll head back into the Virginia courtroom for more of the cross-examination of the au pair.
An affair with the family's au pair lead to double murder.
I'm gonna kill her, I'm gonna kill her.
It's a case of sex, lies, and deadly deception.
The Au Pair Affair murder trial. Live coverage today on Court TV.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, Brendan Banfield's lover and co-defendant returns to the stand in the Au Pair Affair murder trial. We're live with the latest from today's gripping testimony.
Closing Arguments tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
Back now to Virginia for the au pair affair murder trial for Brendan Banfield. He's accused of conspiring with his mistress, Julianna Magalhaes, to create an elaborate double murder scheme in order to frame another man in the stabbing of his wife. Prosecutors say that Banfield lured a man named Joseph Ryan to the house on the pretext of having violent sex, a rape fantasy played out with his wife, Christine, and that Christine is the one that ordered it. But when this man arrived, prosecutors say Banfield and Magalhaes staged the scene to make it look like Ryan had killed Christine. And then they came in to save the day and killed Ryan in self-defense. Whole thing seems ridiculous, but that's what the Commonwealth says this man and his au pair, this IRS criminal investigator, this is the plan they concocted, and this is what happened. Let's go back in, more cross-examination of the au pair.
Green,
Yes.
it's a message you wrote to your mother.
Yes.
It will be marked as defense exhibit number 42.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, can you read the highlighted portion for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
He says, and I spent almost 2 hours with my lawyer. It was good, but no actual news. We're just reviewing a few things. Marina, a reporter here, sent me a message today saying that the article about my case will be published on Sunday with your interview and everything. I hope I didn't say anything stupid. Everyone will see it.
Ma'am, do you see the smart jail mail message to between you and Paula?
Yes.
And can you read the highlighted portion?
He says, yes, you and Brendan are a bit complicated, right? Because it involves many circumstances, family, his daughter, but once you live there, you guys will figure it out what needs to be figured out. Now you really need to give your lawyer a push, right? To make sure everything will be ready for November. This person, he said, you would need the specialist. He has gone after this person.
Now, there's a pattern in the August messages which appear to be about your lawyer, but also about your relationship with Brendan. Is that fair?
Yeah,
That was on your mind at the time?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Is it fair to assume that if you wrote about it, that was on your mind?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, if you can look at the smart jail mail that's on your screen, is that something that you wrote?
Yes.
And, Your Honor, we'd identify this as Defense Exhibit 46.
44.
Can you please read the highlighted portions?
44.
Oh, 44?
Is correct?
Okay, sorry about that. Sorry.
Yes, 44.
44.
This is 44.
Ma'am, can you read the highlighted portions of this smart jail mail communication?
It says, my lawyer came to see me on Friday. We spent almost 2 hours together. And I was reading the stuff, the interviews, they did it with everyone, my friends, Brenda's, Christine's, and the guys. I discovered even more betrayals on Brenda's part. Haha. Since the beginning of the relationship, several that he never mentioned. I was shocked. Haha. And the other one says, Brenda and I, sometimes I consider it a lost cause, but I really feel for him, you know, but a lot has happened, and there's a lot to be considered before any decision, and we don't even know what's going to happen in November, right? Now, we're really on his tail to make sure he won't screw up again and postpone it. I'm not so confident about it, LOL.
Ma'am, do you see the smart jail mail to your brother dated August 25th, 2024 will be identified as Defense Exhibit number 45? Do you see that?
I do.
And can you read is this a message that you authored and sent?
Yeah,
And can you see the highlighted portions?
I can.
Can you read that, please?
It says, here, nothing new, my lawyer barely comes to see me. And later on it says, I told mom that Brenda wants to go to Brazil with me, buy a house there, etc. But she's kind of pissed because she doesn't want me to live away from home. And that grandpa likes Bruno, but doesn't like Brendan, even though he doesn't know him. Valerie or anyone personally, I told her to stop judging based on what she heard people say, what she assumed to be true. She assumes to be true.
Okay, so if we can identify, Bruno is your former boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. And with this smart jail mail system, were you communicating with him as well?
With Max?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Ma'am, do you see the new smart jail mail that's on your screen?
Yes.
And did you author that?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd identify this as Defense Exhibit 46.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you read the highlighted portions for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes. It says, my lawyer came to see me, but he had a problem with the computer again, and we basically did nothing. He told me that they lost the other trial that took place 2 weeks ago. And the other one says, another American reporter messaged me today, trying to talk to me. I don't even know where these people
Okay.
get.
So, I'm sorry, you're saying another American reporter messaged me today.
That's what it says, yeah?
Do the media and reporters and those associated with the media, do they have the ability to communicate with you on smart jail mail?
They do.
Okay. And how long have they been communicating with you, whether you answer them or not?
I guess throughout the whole process. I'm
So
not sure.
From the time that you were arrested?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. And are there any particular media or news people that you communicate with frequently?
Yes.
Okay. And who is it that you communicate with frequently?
Do you want me to mention the name?
It's fine too.
I'd say Josh.
Okay. Josh, and who's he associated with?
Should I say it?
I'm asking you.
He's a producer with 48 Hours.
Okay. And are you speaking to anyone else who's a producer or potentially looking to buy your story?
At that point, no.
Sorry.
All right, Josh from 48 Hours just went, yeah, I told you, my bosses, I've been trying to get the au pair. Little interesting tidbit there. Let's get a break. When we come back, more of this cross-examination, which is still, civil isn't even the word. It is easy going. Is it going to change? Is he going to crank up the heat? We'll find out. Stay with us. All right, before we head to Virginia, quick update out of New Jersey. Day 3 of the Mansion murder trial for Paul Canero. He's facing multiple charges, including 4 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of his brother Keith and his entire family. Prosecutors say he murdered Keith, Keith's wife Jennifer, and the couple's 2 children before setting their home on fire. He faces life if convicted. Earlier today, the jury heard testimony from the neighbor who was awoken in the early morning hours of the day of the incident. Take a listen.
Was there a point in time when you were awoken from sleep that morning?
Yes.
Can you tell us exactly how that happened?
I woke to male voices outside my home. I turned, I looked at my clock. It was 4:30 a.m. in the morning. I got up, I opened my window shade, and I looked out my window. I saw 2 men running across the street with flashlights.
When you make that observation of the guy pointing to the corner with the flashlight, do you look immediately to that where the flashlight's going?
Yes,
Okay. And did you make any observations when you did that?
I did. I saw a fire on the bottom corner of the Canero home.
All right, we'll be keeping a close eye on this one, bringing you updates throughout the day here on Court TV. But now, back to Virginia, Day 2, au pair affair murder trial. Defendant Brendan Banfield. Let's go back in. The au pair is on the stand, and cross-examination continues.
Are you speaking to any other media person
Was I?
other than Josh?
Was I?
Was you or are you now?
No, yes.
Now you are?
Yes.
Okay. And that's my question. Who are you speaking to?
Who am I speaking to?
Yes.
2 people.
Okay. Do you know their names?
I don't know their names, yes.
Okay. And is one of them Josh?
No.
Okay. What are their names?
Kate and Zachary.
Okay. Is that Kate Brower
Yes,
and Zachary Franks?
correct.
Okay. And has there been any sort of, have they given you anything in anticipation of something?
Anticipation of what?
In anticipation of anything? Have they given you anything? Have they provided you anything?
Yes, they have become my support system, so they've been helping me with money to communicate with my mom, my family in Brazil, and whoever I want to communicate with,
Okay.
and money to for commissary and that stuff, yes.
So let me just slow you down there. I didn't quite hear all of that. I heard something about them giving you money,
Yes,
okay? And was it money to your mom in Brazil?
no,
Oh, I'm sorry. So if you could just slow down on that and just say exactly what you just said.
I said they have become my support system.
Support
They've
system.
been putting, yes, they've been putting money on my books to talk to my mom, my family in Brazil, and whoever else I want to talk to, and to buy commissary and stuff, yes.
Okay. So they're, in the absence of Tess, who used to pay all of that,
Yes,
these two are paying money toward your commissary.
yes.
And what is it that they want from you?
Eventually I want to tell my story.
Okay. And have you negotiated anything?
No, not really.
Okay. Have they thrown a number out?
Have they what?
Have they thrown a number out for your story?
Yes,
Okay. Have you agreed to that number?
no.
Okay, so you're still in negotiations.
Well, you can say so.
Well, you tell me. You're the one who's involved in it.
Yeah, if you want to say yes.
Okay. And do you owe them any obligations for paying for your commissary money or your ability to use smart jail mail, any of those sort of things?
I do intend to write a story with them eventually, yes.
Okay. And is, just for curiosity's sake, is the story this story?
It's the truth, if that's what you're asking for.
No, I'm asking, is that what they're basically communicating, being your support system, paying money? It's for this story, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what outfit are they with that would be handling this story?
What?
What company are they with that would be?
It's called Cream Productions, if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm not sure.
Cream Productions?
That's what I would say, like, yeah.
Okay, and is this story going to air on any network or TV streaming service or anything like that?
I've heard.
Well, if she knows that she can answer it, go ahead. You can answer it if you know.
As far as people told me, yes, but not that I have seen. Just people telling me that.
Well, it hasn't
Other
been made
producers have made this
Okay.
story, yes.
But they represent some company, correct?
Correct.
And what's the company?
I'm not sure. Some people said Dateline.
I'm sorry?
Some people told me they saw it on Dateline, for example.
Okay, so
I haven't, but that's what I heard.
You've spoken to Dateline too?
I did not speak to them. I said they made this story, and somebody told me they saw it.
I'm sorry. They're talking about another story that they made that was on Dateline?
I did not know they started that was on Dateline. I did not see it.
I'm just trying to understand what you just said. Something about Dateline.
Yes,
Are you saying that Kate and Josh are associated with Dateline?
no, they were not.
Okay. So how did Dateline come into what you just said?
You asked if other producers, company, whatever it is, made this story, told this story on the news or TV, and I said, as far as I've heard, they did, but not that I have seen.
Okay. Well, I was just asking who you were associated with and who was supporting you and who they were associated with.
Yeah, that's not them.
Okay. And you don't know what their company is?
You're going to have to use your mic. I'm sorry.
Judge, that's been asked and answered. She said that they represented Cream Production.
All right, asked and answered, so I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
I'll move on from there. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Sure.
Ma'am, do you see the smart jail mail?
Okay, a lot of interest in this story, obviously. Josh from 48 Hours was bounced from these other two producers as they're going to tell her story with her, and in the meantime, paying for her food and communications, her support system, as she called it. Mackenzie Joy Bennett, still with us. From the defense standpoint, juror standpoint, does this raise an eyebrow with jurors because she has interest in her story and she's willing to sell it?
I think this is one of the stronger points to end with, presuming that we're coming close
I don't know
to an
about
end.
that.
I know. I think that he is getting into a monotonous sort of flow, which is unfortunate. So I think I'm hoping that we're close to ending, because this is a strong point for him and his client with the jury. Juries like clear bias, and money, media interest, those are clear biases. You know, whether that's true, I tend to think she doesn't have a lot of options. She is not from this country. I'm sure her finances are not that strong, especially if the other defendant's mother was paying for her legal fees and now isn't anymore. She clearly needs somebody to support her. So I don't tend to see that as a bias, but generally speaking, juries do see that as one of the stronger, you know, pieces of evidence that show bias.
She slipped in
so
she did slip in during this questioning, oh, I'm going to tell the truth. When he was asking about is this the story? And she was able to get that in there. The truth is what they're after, and that's what I'm going to give them. Can she equalize this, especially on redirect with, you're going to tell a story, you're going to tell the truth, right? They can really tamp this down. The state or the
Oh, absolutely. I think they can. I think that it's a very valid point to make, especially that, you know, the fact that she was offered this misdemeanor plea and now has moved up to accepting a felony plea, that almost, to me, parallels the, you know, the hearsay exception of statement against interest. And the reason that that's an exception is that it tends to suggest credibility, that nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to plead to a felony. So all of this that makes her look bad, including this plea to a felony, including telling the truth, you know, her role in this to whatever media platform is not a pleasant one. And even her testimony as she's putting out here publicly, which would have to square with the media representation to a certain extent, it doesn't make her look good. And all of those things I could see, especially if it's spun well by her lawyer, kind of going in favor of her credibility.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. Let's get a break. When we come back, more of the cross-examination in the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, as they proceed in the case against Brendan Banfield using the au pair as their star witness.